Hey everyone, and welcome to my reaction to my 2025 goals and my 2026 goals video. We're now at the end of the year, so it's time to look back on the goals I had for this year, figure out if I did any of them, if I failed any of them, and set my goals for the next year. So I've got the video set up. Let's have a look and see what I actually said I was going to do this year and see if I actually did any of it. Life goals, reading goals, and then channel goals. And the first life goal I have is that I want to cosplay more because I loved doing it in 2022. I absolutely loved doing it then. It was so much fun. And in 2023 I also really enjoyed it, and I really liked making TikToks about it. I liked going to Comic-Con dressed as Loki, everything else. It was so much fun, and I did not do it this year whatsoever, and I really want to do that more. And I don't just want to cosplay as Loki next year, I want to cosplay as Billy Maximoff, and I have actually been building a Billy Maximoff cosplay. Well, that started well. I did really well at the beginning of the year. I was doing really well. I pre-filmed a whole bunch of Billy Maximoff cosplays. I posted most of them, and then I didn't cosplay him like for the rest of the year. I did a little bit with Loki around the middle of the year, and then I didn't really do anything else. It just fell by the wayside once again. I was admittedly going to go to Comic-Con this year as Billy Maximoff. I have full plans for it. I had the crown on, I had the jumper on, and everything else. And then I remembered just how hot Comic-Con is. It is like a sauna in there, and that was a thick woolly jumper with the jacket on. I could have maybe tied the jacket around my waist. It still would have been very accurate to that, but in the end I just did not do that. I cosplayed a little bit. I just didn't do much of it. I should have done more. I definitely should have done more. Once again, time just ran away with me completely, and I just did not get round to doing any kind of cosplay. I really wanted to, don't get me wrong. I was desperate to do more cosplay this year, kept on having thoughts about it, and I did not do it anywhere near enough. So yeah, that did not happen, unfortunately. That really did not happen. Outside of that, I also actually want to write my book. Like, that's the thing, I want to write my book this year. I did most of this. I got 30,000 words into a book. I've got about 15,000 words left to write. I have not done it yet, admittedly, because I kind of hit a roadblock with it. I know exactly how I want the book to end. I've got it all planned out. I just have not written it yet because I got into a little bit of a roadblock, a little bit of writer's block, and also I had a couple of confidence knocks with the writing, so I did not actually finish it. But I have sent off the original part that I've got so far to a couple of publishing houses who were looking for unfinished manuscripts or just new writers and things like this. So I have started shopping it around as well. I just need to finish it off. So I do want to do that next year, which I'll go into more in my goals later on in this video. But at the very least, I made damn good progress with writing the book. I also want to start exercising because I am not doing that enough right now, so I want to get into that more consistently. This, again, started out really well. I was doing really well with this. I was using a little, foot pedal machine and things like this. I've also got this here, which is a weighted hula hoop, which I was using a lot in 2023 and 2022, and then I got out of practice with that, and I just started using the pedal thing. I've also got a couple of weights that I was also trying to lift a few times as well, and then it got to about October, I think it was, and it just kind of again fell by the wayside. I was meant to be doing a lot more than I actually was, and I just didn't. I've got no excuse. There is no excuse. I just fell by the wayside with it. Admittedly, most weeks I can exercise maybe once or twice a week, nowhere near consistently, but admittedly, actually thinking about it, it fell by the wayside for a few months, but in December I've started getting back into it again. So I'm going to say I half completed this goal because I did really well for 6 months, then it fell by the wayside, and now I'm starting to recover from it again. So, you know, it's a swings and roundabouts thing. I've half done this one. I'm going to give myself half a point. So far, I've got 1 whole point, because if I give myself half a point for writing most of a book and not doing my other goals, yeah, I've got about half a point. I've got a point so far. I'm not doing this as a point-based system, by the way, but I've completed 2 halves, 1 half of 2 goals. So that is just, we're going well so far. I also want to go on more solo adventures, and what I mean by that is actually going out and doing things by myself. We don't need to hear that explanation again, but I smashed this one. I absolutely smashed this one. So I first of all went out by myself in January. I went up to London. I saw the YouTubers Dan and Phil on their Terrible Influence tour. I went completely by myself and I had a fantastic time. It was such a great show. I've been a fan of Dan and Phil since before they started their gaming channel, so at least 12 years now, and I really enjoyed the show. It was a fantastic show. I had a great time, and then we all know what happened. On April 22nd, I saw Thunderbolts, and I went up as a last minute thing to the premiere because I was like, I really want to go to a Marvel premiere. I haven't done it yet. I'm desperate to go. I went up there and I was like, yeah, that's a solo adventure. I got up there, went to see like everybody walking in and all the rest of it, and then I got to go into the actual premiere and see the movie 9 days early, and not only that, got to be in the same room as Kevin Feige, Florence Pugh, like Wyatt Russell, Lewis Pullman, Hannah John Kamen, David Harbour, basically the entire cast of Thunderbolts except for Sebastian Stan, who was filming in Norway, I think it was at the time. He was filming another movie at the time. But I got to do the Thunderbolts premiere and I got to see the film 9 days early. I got to see the beautiful Revolution suit 9 days early, and I was probably one of like 15,000 people at this point who saw the Revolution suit before the rest of the world did, so I was sitting on that. I was sitting on the new Avengers twist as well with the Asterix and everything else. I was obsessed with this movie already. Like, I was gonna love it anyway. It's a Marvel movie. It was featuring Bucky and Yelena. I was gonna love it anyway, but that moment just made it so much more special for me, and I am so glad I decided to go as well because it was such a beautiful day. I literally was really hungry because I didn't have time to eat or anything else, so I hadn't eaten in like 6 hours or something by the time I got home. I was ravenously hungry, but it was worth it. I'd take the hunger all over again and everything else because best night of my life. It was the absolute best night of my life. I'm trying not to talk about it too much, but it was genuinely the best night of my life. Like, I have seen some incredible McFly gigs over the years that were the greatest night of my life, but nothing beats watching the latest Marvel movie 9 days before the rest of the world. After being in the same room as most of the cast and Kevin Feige, knowing you are watching it at the exact same time with this cast who are in a separate room, like, but in the same building as you, alongside Pedro Pascal and Simu Liu. Like, nothing is beating that. That was absolutely incredible. I absolutely loved it. It was best night of my life. And moving on, because I will talk about this for hours otherwise, because like I said, best night of my life. I am currently hyper fixated on Thunderbolts and Bucky Barnes specifically, but absolutely incredible. I also want to start plotting out and actually pre-filming and pre-making my content, because like I said, it is so stressful to be like, I haven't made anything for today, I need to do it right now, what the hell am I doing, and just have a bit of a block. So I do definitely want to plot out and make stuff in advance. I half did this. I was doing really well on the Instagram pre-filming stuff. I got a whole load of like photos done and stuff like this, which I usually do. I did really well with TikTok as well, with like doing some cosplay stuff, but also getting some videos pre-filmed as well, so when I was having those days I could just post them immediately and not have to worry. Blogging and YouTube though absolutely did not happen. Like, apart from my usual filming 2 videos a week for this channel, when I was still like filming 2 videos and uploading 2 videos a week, I was doing that every single week. Now I am filming like 2 videos at a time, and one will be for the following week and then the week after as well, because I'm down to 1 video a week on this channel. And that's about as far as I've gotten. Admittedly, I do have my journal, which is now falling to pieces, but it's this journal here. As you can see, it is absolutely dead, but I am admittedly writing down my plans in terms of what blog posts I want to do that week, or that month I should say, and what videos I am doing and things like this, but I'm not really pre-writing them. I did admittedly do that in October and wrote all of my content for November, so that was good and that was really useful, but I generally don't do that right now. I really should. And I really need to get going on that as well with my other channel as well, which is my comic book channel. I really need to get going on pre-filming some of that stuff because I'm not doing that either. But in terms of TikTok and Instagram, I absolutely smashed this. In terms of blogging and YouTube, complete fail. Absolutely failed on that one as well. And then my final life goal is the 1 AM bedtime. I definitely want to carry on working towards that 1 AM bedtime. 1:30 is working really well for me, but I would like to maybe knock that back to 1 AM just so I've got that little bit more sleep. Didn't happen. I'm still at 1:30. At points it's creeping over to 2 AM again. I'm having to claw it back to 1 AM again. I'm not going to, like, no, 1:30, sorry. I'm not at 1 AM yet. I am still very much at like 1:30 usually. Sometimes it can be 1:15, but usually it's 1:30. So I do need to still work on that one because that is not going well. To be fair, it took me 3 years to knock it back from 2 AM to 1:30. So it's probably going to take me another 3 years to get it to 1 AM. But yeah, that didn't happen. Actually, and as a last life goal, thinking about it, I would like to sort out my skin. Yeah, that's been a saga. So I booked a dermatologist appointment. I managed to get a dermatologist appointment. That was in May. I was prescribed a thing called Spirolactone. And as you can see, this is a good day. I'm still covered, to be perfectly honest with you. This is literally a good day, but I've got a few still in my hairline. I've got, like, these ones are healing at the moment, but I had like a massive one like here. That's right, it was over here. And I'm still having a lot of bad days and having to try and like figure out when I can film and all the rest of it because I'm so self-conscious of these spots. And the medication didn't do anything, to be perfectly honest. It was supposed to, and all it's really done is made it so the spots aren't these massive red unpoppable things. They're now easier to pop, but that is it. They're still hanging around for days on end, taking weeks to like go away, and then they're immediately replaced again. I'm still having to like pop spots every day practically. And yeah, if you've noticed at all at any point when I've been filming downstairs and gone, oh yeah, she's got really good skin today. No, I've been admittedly using the TikTok filter, Flawless Skin, and filming everything via TikTok when I'm filming down here when the camera is closer to me. So I have like nicer skin, to be honest. That is literally how I've been filming downstairs. Upstairs the camera is a little bit further away from me and it feels a little bit sort of less obvious, but at the same time it's still showing up really, really badly. And yeah, it's not going well. I've got another appointment in January, and I'm hoping to be getting a different like cream or medication or whatever, and hopefully that's going to work. But at the moment I am basically still covered. It hasn't happened yet. My goal was to be spot free by the time I'm 30, and that is in 3 months, and yeah, that's not happening. So we'll see what happens, but at the moment, yeah, that goal, I made progress with it in the sense that I started a treatment, it just didn't work. So we shall see what happens in January when I get my next appointment. As for my reading goals, the first thing is that I want to read 60 novels because I think that is a reasonable goal for me. It's just over 1 a week, which feels obtainable. I absolutely did this. I definitely did this one. I have read 60 books and I've read 100 comics. I will go more into detail in my stats video, but I did definitely do this. Like 100% I did this, so go me. I'd also like to continue exploring the romance genre and maybe trying like fantasy romance. Yeah, that didn't happen. I've discovered that if I want to read romance, I've got to be specifically in the mood for it, and I am generally not in the mood for it because it is very much out of my comfort zone, and I've got to be in a very, very specific mood to read romance. So I kind of crossed this one off the list of my goals because if I'm not in the mood to read something, I'm just not going to read it. So yeah, that did not happen. I'd also actually like to start using Storygraph. I've said this like 3 years in a row now. That I did. I completely made the switch from Goodreads to Storygraph. I am not using Goodreads anymore whatsoever, apart from to track the new releases that are coming out every month. And that's literally just because they've got, in my opinion, a better like logging system for figuring out what's out when. So that is the only reason why I'm using Goodreads at the moment, and the only thing I'm using it for. The rest of the time I'm using Storygraph. And naturally, I also want to start updating my spreadsheet weekly, because that is not happening at the moment. It is stressing me out. It's still not happening. I'm still getting about midway through the next month and going, oh hell, I haven't actually updated my spreadsheet. Specifically, this is my Notion spreadsheet, and I'm still not doing this. Like, at all. I'm still getting midway through the next month and going, damn it, I have not done this. And having to go back through my story graph, finding all of the stats and putting them all in again, because I am fundamentally lazy and keep on forgetting to do this. Like, don't get me wrong, for some unknown reason, I am really good at updating it when I'm counting how many fanfics I've read a month, because I really like counting that and seeing how many I've read, because it makes me feel like I'm really on top of my AO3 and my watch later list. But for some unknown reason, actually filling in all of the details for all of the books I read, no, it will take me weeks to get around to doing it. So that did not happen. And then as for my channel goals, first of all, I want to improve my thumbnails, because I did do this. If you notice, I have completely changed up my thumbnails, so definitely did this one. I'm really actually happy with how my thumbnails are going now, so definitely did this one. I also want to stop being afraid to ask people if they want to do a buddy read or a read along. I actually did this as well. I co-hosted and actually created the Chaos Walking read along this year, which I co-hosted with Hannah, Abby and Olivia, and sometimes Emma also joined in as well, so I definitely did this one. And next year I've already got one buddy read lined up, so I definitely did this one as well. It was not the greatest goal, like achievement in the world, but I did it at least once for a buddy read and also a read along, and therefore it 100% counts, because I wasn't going to try and make new read alongs all of the time or trying to buddy read with someone like every single month or anything else. I just wanted to do it more, and that is something I definitely did. And that was all of the goals I have for 2025, so I think I did reasonably well on a few of them. Obviously, I managed the solo adventures. I also made progress with trying to sort out my skin. Obviously, didn't work, but I at least tried it. I've got another plan in like January, hopefully, when I go see the dermatologist and see what they say. I've also like changed up my thumbnail. I read 60 books and 100 comics, things like this. So I did reasonably well with these goals. It wasn't an absolute smash, and I did not finish all of them, but I did do a fair few of them. And I think actually one other goal I had that I just had for myself was I wanted to read more fanfiction this year, and I absolutely smashed that one as well. I did not put it in the video for whatever reason, but I did smash that one. I was doing really bad for like the first few months of the year, and actually I'll leave the table here that I have in my Notion so you can kind of see I did really bad from like January was quite well, and then like February through to April was terrible, and then it hit when Thunderbolts came out and my hyperfixation basically hit like a freight train, and it was all I read for the rest of the year. Like every single time now that I'm not reading a book and I'm not reading a comic, or I don't have time to read another chapter of a book, I'm jumping over to AO3 and continuing on with maybe a story that I've already started reading, or starting another one that's like a shorter one that I've only got a couple of minutes to read because I don't have that much time to do anything else. I've got like 28 tabs open on my phone at the moment as well. That is just literally other fanfiction I want to read. I've got, I mean, about 30 tabs open on my computer as well. That is literally just fanfiction that I really want to read, that I've sorted out into general stuff I want to read and the stuff I want to read as a priority. Yeah, I've definitely gotten back on top of my AO3 list, even though it's jumped from like 180 pages long to 217. So it's gone a little bit bonkers, I won't lie, but at the very least I'm keeping on top of it. And now let's talk about my 2026 goals. So I'm going to split this into 3 parts again. I've got life goals, reading goals, and then also channel and social media goals. So if we start with the life goals, the first one is that I want to carry on trying to exercise, and I want to build an exercise routine, whether that be I exercise on Monday, Tuesdays, Fridays, or whatever it happens to be. I do want to create some kind of exercise routine that I do on the regular, because at the moment it's very sporadic. I still don't really know like when I'm going to do it. It's more like, oh yeah, I'm in the mood to do that right now, or I've got a little bit of time to do that, so I'll do that or whatever. But there's no real sort of like idea of what I'm doing or anything else. There's no schedule to it, and I want to make a schedule for my exercise so it actually gets done. I would also like to finish my book next year and start shopping it out to agents. Now, obviously, I'm not expecting anything from that whatsoever, but at the very least, I can say I have finished the book and I have made progress with trying to find an agent and trying to start my career as an author, because that is something I really, really want. I had dreamed of being a published author for absolutely years now, so I really, really want to be doing that. So at the very least, next year, I would like to say by the end of next year that I have finished the first book, and I have also started shopping it out to agents and seeing what they say and things like this. So even if I don't have an agent by the end of the year, which I very much doubt I will do, at the very least I can say I tried. I would also like to carry on with the solo adventures, because I've really, really enjoyed the ones I've had this year, because obviously I saw Dana Ville, and then also I was in the same room as Kevin Feige. I'm not expecting the next couple to go as well as that, don't get me wrong, but at the very least I'd like to carry on having those solo adventures and going out by myself. I currently have 2 planned for next year at the moment. The first one is that for my birthday, me and Emma from Emma Novella are going to go and see the Back to the Future musical together, because it is closing in April, I think it is, and I've really wanted to go and see it. Emma absolutely adores the show and is never going to turn down a chance to go and see it, so we're going to be going to see it together. And then also I am seeing McFly by myself this year, and I've never seen McFly by myself ever. I've always gone with friends and family, and this time I'm going by myself, which is slightly scary, but I know it's going to be a good time. It's a McFly show. I always have the best time at a McFly show, so I'm really, really excited for that. So I've got 2 solo adventures at the moment planned. Obviously, if more crop up, that's fantastic. If that's the only 2 I go on, still absolutely brilliant. I'm still continuing on with those solo adventures. I'd also like to try and save £50 a month, because at the moment my spending is a little bit out of control, so I would like to at least rein that back in a bit and get into the habit of spending less and saving more. So if I could do that, that'd be great. I also obviously want to carry on sorting out my skin. That's obviously something I can't have full control over. It entirely depends on how I react to medication and things like this, but at the very least, like I said, I would like to carry on being able to say I have made progress with this, or I have tried new things with this to try and solve the problem. I'd also like to close some tabs, because I got that under control 2 years ago and now it has gone out of control again. This is the tabs I currently have open, and actually you can see there are 2 grouped tabs in there as well, which is priority and fanfic, and if I do not read those soon, I'm basically going to break my browser, because there's like 30 across both of them. So I've got like 40 tabs open, or however many it is, at all times, and that's probably going to break my computer. So if I can like get that down at all and maybe not have those tabs there, that'd be great. If I can have maybe just 1 or 2 fanfics open at a time, that's fine, I don't mind that. If I have like 10 tabs open in total, that's great, but I really would like to be able to see what the tab names are, instead of just having to go by their logos and clicking around to try and find the one I want. So I would very much like to close some tabs this year and get that under control. As for my reading goals, once again, I want to read 60 books and 100 comics, because that was a really, really nice goal. It felt obtainable while also still feeling like a really big thing for me. So I would like to try and do that again next year. Again, I want to update my Notion weekly. If I can get it down to once every 2 weeks, that is fine. But as long as I'm not getting to the end of the month and going, oh hell, I haven't finished this yet and I need to update everything I read in that month, I'll be happy. So if I could do that maybe every other week or weekly, that'd be fantastic. And then also I want to carry on reading all of the fanfic I have open and all of the rest of it I have in my watch later as well, and try and sort of not get the list down, because that's never happening, because I'm constantly adding more and more and more and more to the list, because everyone is writing so many amazing fanfics, and quite frankly I am absolutely obsessed with Thunderbolts Living Together in the Tower fanfics. They are so much fun to read, and I just want to read all of them that I can get my hands on. So I just know that every single time another one comes up, I'm just going to add it to the watch later, and I'm finding new recommendations list all of the time and everything else. So I know I'm not going to get the watch later list down at all, but at the very least, if I can try and like carry on reading at the same rate I am at the moment. At the very least, it will feel like I am keeping on top of it because I'm not letting it pile up and never reading anything. I am still reading stuff, and even if the list is growing, at the very least I am still reading it off the list at the same time, and sort of not doing a one in one out kind of thing, but I'm still keeping on top of it, so I would like to do that as well. And then as for my channel goals, to start with, I would like to carry on with both of my channels. So I've got this channel here, which is my booktube channel, and then my other channel, which is the Comic Book Sanctum, which is based around books and the MCU, and I've really liked separating the two out recently. It's made my content making a little bit easier because then I'm going, right, I know I want to talk about the latest haul I have done over here, and then I want to talk about the latest episode of Marvel Zombies, for example, over on the other channel, or if new photos come out or anything else from like set or anything else, I can immediately jump on talking about those over there and things like this, and I'm not basically trying to add everything into this channel, which kind of made it a little bit clogged and a little bit sort of wide and not sort of niche specific or anything else. So I'm really liking having the two separated now, so I can make one bookish video a week and one Marvel video a week, and it's sort of working for my hyperfixations and everything else. So I'm really liking that, so I'd like to carry on with both channels. I'd also like to reply quicker to comments because at the moment I take forever to reply. I'm talking 3 or 4 days, and it's for no apparent reason. I see the notification and go, oh, someone's commented, and then 3 days later I'll go, oh yeah, I need to reply to that, instead of actually doing it at the time, or at the very least within a few hours. So what I'd like to say is I want to get it down from 3 or 4 days between the comment being left and me replying down to 1 day. I'm not going to say like within a couple of hours or anything else, because life happens and sometimes I just don't have time to reply there and then, but within 24 hours of that comment being made, I would like to be replying to it. As for social media, I would really like to create a consistent theme for my Instagram, because as you can see from this screenshot, my Instagram is a mess. I was thinking the grid pattern looked quite good, but at the same time the style is all over the place. I've got no idea what I'm doing. The only bit that actually looks good is when I'm posting the like covers for all of my blog posts. The rest of the time it looks like a complete and utter mess. So what I want to do is to really sort of make it more stylized, make it more sort of in keeping with everything else, so it all looks very, very consistent and sort of like in keeping with everything else. So that's what I want to be doing. I've started working on this as well, and sort of like coming up with a new style of content and things like this. So hopefully that's going to go well further into the new year. I'm admittedly being helped by Bookstagram 101 at the moment, which is a fantastic course. I've only done the first module so far, but oh my god, is it so helpful. So definitely going to be carrying on with that and changing up my content, creating that more consistent style, all of this kind of thing. So definitely want to be doing that as well next year. Then in terms of things like TikTok and also blog posts and videos, I would really like to actually get them pre-filmed and pre-written on occasion. So when I'm having one of those weeks where I'm just really, really busy, or I'm ill or anything else, I just don't feel like making content, I've still got one in the bank that I can just immediately pull out and then upload. Because at the moment I am scrambling to come up with stuff. Obviously I've got the plan in my journal, but it's just not the same as actually having it completely like ready to go and everything else on the day, so I can just click upload, and I would like to get to that point. So if I can pre-record or pre-write a few blog posts every month, or just get a few sort of in the bank ready for those busy weeks, that would be brilliant, because at the moment I do not want to be dealing with the scramble anymore. I want to have things pre-done and ready to go when I can. And finally, I would also love to post more cosplay videos, which involves me actually cosplaying. So definitely want to be bringing back out Billy Maximoff, and then also Loki. No plans for anybody else at the moment. I would love to cosplay as Bucky, but the arm will be difficult to do, and I do not have the skills to create the metal arm or anything else. So at the moment I want to focus on Loki and Billy and actually make that content. I've got so many sounds saved on like TikTok at the moment that I could use for those videos. I just haven't made them yet, so I really want to be getting on with that and actually making that cosplay content. content because I love it so much, and it is about time I really embraced it and went for it. And that is my 2025 goals reflection, and then also my 2026 goals. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me a goal you absolutely smashed this year. I would love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a, I'm going to say, target emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all of my social media if you want to check it out, as well as to my other channel if you are interested in comics and want to find out more about Marvel Comics and the MCU. Or if you're more into books, you can click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But till next time everyone, bye!